of carers are women. 60% of doctor visits are by women. 55% of pensioners and 70% of single pensioners are women. So women are the ones most affected by hockey's regressive budget, designed solely to reduce some mythical death burden. The GP co-payment hits women hardest. The increase in HECS fees and interest hits women hardest. Cuts to the single parent tax benefit and the National Rental Affordability Scheme hit women hardest. Cuts to family payments, pensions, disability support payments and carer payments hit women hardest. The delay to the superannuation guarantee hits women hardest. Changing how pension increases are calculated hit women hardest, and removing funding from Indigenous programs across Australia hits Aboriginal women hardest. And the rise in the petrol excise hits women hardest, even though low-income earners apparently don't drive much. All those children must walk to school and take themselves to the doctor. You don't have to be a low-income woman or man to be horrified by this government. Intimate partner violence is at unprecedented levels, yet funding from vital services disappears. And across Australia, women's shelters are closing. Destroy the Joints campaign to count dead women, to honour and remember those women who have died violently, is up to 52 women so far in 2014. That's an epidemic, but it's given less attention than the one-punch deaths that occur to 5 young men a year. And in Victoria, a rogue MP is still able to seriously threaten women's reproductive freedom. You don't even need to be a woman to be horrified. Statistics on violence towards women and an understanding of the continuing gender pay gap and the lack of women in senior jobs should horrify any man. Women still earn 18% less than men, and this won't change without direct action by government and business. Yet although men have had quotas in their favour for millennia, somehow they continue to argue that affirmative action for women is unfair. You don't even need to be Australian to be horrified. Asylum seeker women are still being denied the basic dignity of sanitary needs and underpants. Destroyers have been symbolically sending tampons to Scott Morrison for 8 months now in recognition of this outrage, yet reports indicate that little has changed. Not to mention the abhorrent treatment of pregnant asylum seekers and the even more abhorrent treatment of the children of refugees. Recent cuts to Australian foreign aid disproportionately hit women, since women and their children make up most of the world's poor. Lack of action on climate change also hits women hardest, since the poor of the world will first bear the brunt of rising sea levels and temperatures. Do we think any of this will get better? Do we? Hell, not with this government. We have a Minister for Women who's a man and says he's a feminist, and a minister assisting the Minister for Women who is a woman and says she isn't a feminist. It's the Twilight Zone. Betts thinks people will listen to 60-year-old science on abortion. Pine thinks only men become doctors and lawyers.
Shame, Pine, shame!
We have one woman in cabinet, which is fewer than Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan. The lowest number in Australia since 1983. How on earth are we going to make a better planet when our government is using not much more than half the talent available? I have a 25-year-old daughter. My wish wishes that the world now was a better place than it was when I was her age. In some ways it is, but in many important ways it is not. I urge those here to stand up for women and fight to improve women's lives in whatever sphere they can. Part of that, a lot of it, obviously involves resisting the efforts of this government to continue to erode women's rights. So please follow Destroy the Joint on Facebook and Twitter, and I urge you to keep destroying the joint.